Hello. A couple of years ago, I was looking for a creative outlet outside of work, and so I swallowed my fear and signed up for my very first improvisational theater class. Now, if you're unfamiliar, improv is where actors create scenes and characters on the spot, usually inspired by a single word suggestion from the audience. Well, now about 7 classes later or so, I'm a long ways from being an improv expert, but I have become a huge fan. And not just because it's fun, which it is, but because it's really challenged me to think differently about a lot of things on stage and off. So today I want to share with you 3 lessons from improv that apply to the workplace and to government that have helped me and might benefit you too. First, support the ensemble. In improv, you look good by making your fellow improvisers look good. Sure, it helps to be a strong performer individually, but if you're so focused on your own star performance, then the whole show suffers. At work, just as in improv, a team's success is greater than any individual's. And I think we know this intuitively. We've heard it a lot before, but I don't know if it always affects how we actually act. Because we can spend a lot of time writing wonderful individual development plans and identifying the skills and the trainings and the leadership opportunities that we need to get ahead and to get to the next level. But I guess that far less often we have stopped and gone over to our colleagues and asked what their goals are for the year, how we might help them accomplish those. I'm in an improv troupe. We're starting out, it's a lot of fun, but before every show, backstage, right before we're about to run on, we're behind the curtain and there's all this anxiety and this excitement. But in those final seconds, we just pause and we give everybody in the troupe, we just give them a pat on the back and we say, I've got your back, I've got your back, I've got your back. And that's our way of reminding each other that no matter what surprises await us on stage, we won't leave anybody hanging. I think that's a great sentiment to bring to the office as well. Second, learn to say the phrase, yes and. Has anyone in here read Tina Fey's book, Bossy Pants? It's great. You've probably heard that concept already then. It's got 2 parts to the yes and the and. Saying yes means that you're starting from a place of open-mindedness, that you're at least willing to explore where your partner wants to go. The second part, the and, is just as important. That's where you build on your partner's idea with your own contribution. That's what makes you an active collaborator and not just a passive yes man. Now, saying yes and at work doesn't mean putting your critical thinking on hold or blindly following just any idea that comes along. What I think it means is recognizing the value in what your colleague has to say and seeing it as a gift, versus politely waiting your turn to present your own separate brilliant idea. So saying yes and at work can make for a much more collaborative workplace and lead you in more innovative directions. Third, accept that the unexpected will happen and adapt. In improv, scenes frequently go in innovative directions that you'd never anticipate. I was in a show a while back, and I initiated a scene by coming on stage and calmly sipping an imaginary Americano, which in my imaginary neighborhood Starbucks. And then in ran in my scene partner, who yelled, "Captain, the ship is sinking." Well, wanting to practice the rule of yes and, I couldn't very well yell cut, say, actually, I was in a coffee shop, not a ship. Can we just start that over from the top? No, I couldn't do that. So I had to accept that the circumstances had changed and get my bearings quickly, assume my new role, and keep going. Well, at work, we have standard operating procedures and contingency plans to minimize unpredictable moments. But even so, they happen all the time, and the same rule applies. We have to adapt and keep going. The good news is that sometimes unexpected events bring unexpected opportunities. And I think no one knows this better than scientists who believe in the value of serendipity. When faced with an unexpected finding, scientists who are able to quickly redirect their line of inquiry can discover some amazing things. Penicillin is just one of many examples. Had we not had Alexander Fleming, who was willing to change directions and try to figure out what was going on in that petri dish of his, we would never have benefited from all of the antibiotics that we have now. So, what I want you to think about is what work would actually be like if we really put those principles into practice every day. Just imagine for a moment being in a staff meeting and looking around the table and realizing when you see all your colleagues there that you have complete trust in all of them, and that they have complete trust in you too because you have each other's back, and that you aren't afraid at all to propose a new idea because you know your colleagues will listen to it and they will take it seriously and they'll help you develop it to make it reach its fullest potential because you do the same thing for their ideas. And then imagine if another colleague ran into the room with a bit of unexpected news that just changed everything. Instead of having a meltdown, your team would come together, absorb the news, pivot, and continue getting the work done. Well, I think that would be a pretty great place to work. And I don't think it's that imaginary. If we support the ensemble, say yes and adapt with the unexpected. You don't have to be an actor to be an excellent improviser. Thank you.